Hey, I'm Krista Wax. You're listening to MSP Sound on KFAI, and I'm so excited. I have Katy Tessman here. Hey, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me with you today.
Oh my gosh, of course. I'm so glad you're here with me today. We're going to talk about a special event you have coming up. Why don't you tell us all about it?
On Thursday, October 20th, I'll be performing with my band at the 318 Cafe in Excelsior. The show starts at 8. But it's a really special event. It's a fundraiser for the Angel Foundation, a nonprofit organization here based in the Twin Cities.
Wow. That's awesome. I love parties. I know it's a benefit, but benefits are a good cause for a party.
Yes, yes, it is a good cause. The funds that they are raised are going to be given as donations to adults that are fighting cancer, and they can use these monies for anything that they want, whether it's paying a mortgage or grocery bills. Because when you're in the middle of a cancer fight, you tend to need time off from work. And what's really special is that I received a grant from the Angel Foundation when I was fighting cancer 13 years ago.
Oh my goodness. Do you want to share a little bit more about kind of that experience and how well, please, I
Yes, yes.
please.
Well, it was just about this time of year, 13 years ago, when I was 39 years old. I had my very first mammogram. And turns out I had cancer. And after I met with my oncologist and my cancer surgeon and my plastic surgeon, the best date to schedule my double mastectomy was on October 28th, my 40th birthday. So my birthday now has been quite the emotional roller coaster. Um, and I've kind of figured out that this time of year, it's Pinktober, October being Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and it emotionally, it's always kind of triggering. And I have decided that I am going to celebrate my birthday the way I want to. I'm not going to wait around and wait for invitations. I'm just going to do whatever I want to do. Some years I celebrate for a whole week straight. Um, but this year I've decided to celebrate a week early with my band and give back to an organization that is near and dear to my heart, figuratively and literally.
Wow, Katy, I'm so glad you're still with us and that you did that mammogram check and surprising that all of that came in October, which is Breast Cancer Awareness Month and Pinktober, like you were saying. Um, that's so powerful and such a good reminder to go to the doctor if things don't feel right, to get checked. You're saying you're telling when you were 39, and yes, I just went to the doctor and they're like, you need to get your first mammogram, and I keep kind of dragging my feet and you're
It is
encouraging me.
tricky.
This is
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I never wanted to be a member of the club, of the Breast Cancer Survivor Club. Nobody does. But it is better to know and to be healthy. And sometimes it's better to be able to go every year. That might be the club that you really want to be in, is to be able to go get a mammogram every year. And I'm not a member of that club because I don't have any more breast tissue. I just did reconstruction and there's no mammogram needed. But you know, life throws us many curveballs, and this was what I've got to deal with. And everybody has junk that they have to go through. And one thing my parents have really taught me is how to look for the silver linings. And that's something that I want to remind people of, that there are some silver linings with every uh, bowl of lemons that you might get. And sometimes the lemonade that you make isn't very sweet, but at least you're doing something with it. And so for me, my boys were ages 6 and 3 when I
Mhm.
was diagnosed. So it was tough. It was really tough being a mom and being bald and vomiting and um, hugging my kids differently and needing to have the bedtime routine different, mainly because I didn't have a whole lot of energy to sing a half hour of lullabies where I would just sing 3 songs. And, it was quite the journey and I navigated it. And now I'm 13 years cancer free. And I'm excited to be celebrating with people through my music and throwing a party and benefiting the Angel Foundation. I'm pretty excited about it.
Oh my gosh, yes, that is so many good reasons to celebrate. So many great analogies and words of wisdom within all of this. I can't imagine what that time was like, and I'm so glad we have just before we started, I could hear your kids in the background enjoying life together, and that you all are still hanging out, being together, and
Yeah.
you're still around. Like that's um I know I'm a little choked up. So,
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
story's so powerful. Like,
Mhm. The first thing I did when I got the diagnosis was a cry. And then I went to the library to look for a book that I could read to the kids to help them understand what was going to happen to me and also to help me understand what was going to happen to me. And how do you explain breast cancer to your 3-year-old child? It is really difficult, very challenging. And the only books that I could find that addressed the topic of cancer were not appropriate to my for my kids, not even for my 6-year-old. They had dark, dreary watercolor illustrations, long paragraphs of text, and it was mostly about saying goodbye to your loved one. And I'm like, nope, no way, no how. So I explained it to them in my own way. And because we were always outside and either was digging in the garden or tromping around in the woods or volunteering at the nature center, even my 3-year-old would participate in those events at the nature center. Um, I explained it to them that cancer was a bad weed in my garden. And that metaphor is used a lot when it comes to talking about cancer or any kind of illness that can get cut out of your body. But I continued along with that, and they got it. They understood. We talked about creeping Charlie. No, it's not going to be like creeping Charlie. It's not going to crawl over into your garden. It's only in my garden, and there's a bad weed. We need to rebuild Mama's garden. And so, after my chemotherapy treatment and after healing from reconstruction, and I started growing my hair back, I realized that I wrote that book that was missing in the library. So I self published it. And I've had a second edition that I've republished, and copies are still being purchased, especially by like donation. Uh, if your neighbor, she's got a cancer diagnosis and you don't know what to say, people buy my book and give it as gifts and help the kids, help grandkids understand what might be happening.
wow, you've done so much giving back to the community, writing a beautiful book to explain it. Yeah, nobody wants to read these dark clouds and hearing about it. That's not a great way to handle that subject when you're clearly still alive and
Right. Right. I'm not dying yet.
yeah, not dying yet.
I got more to give, and
Oh,
luckily, my creativity is still flowing after writing this book. I've been doing, you know, speaking events and partnering with other artists. Um, I was in the Of Scars photo project, and that was a really therapeutic way to show how personally how I had been healing and what kind of scars were left behind from breast cancer. And then a year later, I was um, a, a 7.5 foot tall portrait of me as Wonder Woman was painted by Barbara Porwit as part of her breast cancer superheroes portrait project. And so doing those things is therapeutic for me, but also for other people. I know that if I was walking down that hallway in the cancer center and I saw an everyday hero, a woman that was pretty average looking, but dressed as Wonder Woman or um, like the Rising Phoenix or a Ruby Runner, whatever sort of homemade uh, a superhero, and I got to walk toward that huge painting, that would have made me feel stronger to sit in that chemo chair for 4 hours. You know, nature photos are beautiful, and that's usually what you see in medical buildings. But I've been really proud that I could help and participate in things to inspire people to find the strength to push through, because we all got it, but just sometimes it's stuck in little nooks and crannies in our brains and we can't reach it. But if there's things like a book or a photograph or a painting, I would hope that I'm helping people find the strength that they need to get through things.
Oh, that's beautiful. I mean, I feel like there's so many layers to you, Katie. I'm just learning so much. What I think, not that I know everything about you in the short amount of time we've chatted today, but I just feel like the more we're talking, there's so many more layers. And that's incredible, just the amount that you've given back to the community during that time.
Thank
And to be full circle with this upcoming event, to give back to the community that helped you out during that time too, and sharing your beautiful music with people. It's so inspiring.
thank you. You know, the pandemic gave everybody a bowl of lemons. And the way that the lemonade that we made here at our house is through music.
Mm.
My younger son, Max, he started producing music and he is really good at it. And it's this summer, I said, you need a summer job. And he said, Mom, I'm making music. And I forget that he's like withdrawing money from his DistroKid account. He's making money. Yeah. And then my older son, when the pandemic hit and distance learning started, he was a junior in high school and he said, I want to learn how to play your guitar, Mom. Great. Now, my guitar hadn't been out of its case for a long time. I was a performing singer songwriter for a decade before I became a mother. And so I became a mom in 2003. And then 2009 is when the breast cancer happened. And then, 2020 is when the pandemic hit. And with my boys making so much music, songwriting started to happen to me again. There was some muse that was coming to me and coaxing me along, and all this other music that was happening in my house, I contributed and I started writing songs again. And so Max, my younger son, is really successful with producing music. And then Lewis, my older son, he cruised on learning that guitar. And he is excellent. And he's my guitar player now in my band. And then last May, for Mother's Day, the three of us collaborated on a song that I had written a couple months earlier. And Lewis is playing all the guitars. He does acoustic guitar, electric guitar, and then some bass on this song that I wrote. And it is a very personal, meaningful song. And I released it into the world as, here is my heart. It's not just on my sleeve, it is in my hands. I'm giving it to you, to kind of show what we've done with the lemons that we got during the pandemic. We made lemonade. And this song is reflective on being a decade-long survivor of this awful, terrible disease that hits so many people so close to home. And I'm so grateful to all of the women that have done it before me. So my oncologist knew just the right recipe of chemotherapy for me to have, and the post chemo medicine, and how long I should be on a daily medication as a safety net, so that I can grow my hair long and color it red if I want to, and I can uh, publish books, and I can write songs and collaborate on music with my children. And um, I hope that what I have done inspires others to be creative and to try new things, even though life is hard. And it's hard to know what to do sometimes when you get dealt an awful hand.
Well, you're making some wonderful lemonade over there. That is books, songs. Your kids are killing it all over the place. I'm so amazed.
Yeah. My dad says, Katie, you might identify as Wonder Woman, but optimism is your superpower. And it's true. I'm very optimistic. There's difference between being a positive person versus optimistic. Optimistic is that there could be some bad things, but let's try to make it as best as possible. Yeah.
That is definitely a superpower that you carry. I agree with your dad. Oh, Katie. All right. So remind us, the event is Thursday, October 20th.
Yep. Thursday, October 20th. Doors open at 6, because at the 318 Cafe, dinner is so delicious. And their wine menu is fantastic. And music starts right at 8 o'clock. And lots of times I perform solo or just with my son as a duo, but this will be my full band, a full 4-piece band. I'm super excited to have this party. And the songs are going to be brand new ones that I've been writing over the past year and a half. We're going to play a couple old ones from before I was a mom. And everyone is invited to come. It's a beautiful venue in downtown Excelsior. It's a listening room, so people will be able to, have their cocktail and listen to music and sit with the people that they love. And I get to share my heart, and we can commiserate about cancer and how sucky it is. But then main thing is we're raising funds for the Angel Foundation. There's a lot of fundraisers for Angel Foundation, but what's so unique is that each one is specific to the person who's leading it. And for me, I'm leading it with sharing my music and being together with people. So it's going to be a really fun night.
That sounds amazing. Thank you so much for sharing your story today and for all that you do and helping out with the Angel Foundation and giving back to the community and writing books and so on, and being a superhero, a modern day Wonder Woman.
We all are superheroes, that's for sure, because we all have challenges and hardships that we overcome.
It's very true.
Yeah.
Katie, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you, Krista.